Are you feeling like things have slowed down a bit for you? If you've been playing Evony for some time and you can't shake off the feeling that you are not progressing the way you feel like you should, or things are going much slower for you, there are a few things that may be acting as speed bumps on the road to your progress and slowing down your Evony growth. And we're going to look at some of them here. Hi, and welcome to Red Evony. I am Akayasha. You can call me Aka. And in this video, we're going to be looking at things that could be slowing down your Evony growth. Right off the bat, the first one is you have no plan. Evony, amongst other things, is a social game. And it is perfectly all right for you to just take things casually sometimes and log on, join a few rallies, hang out a bit with your alliance members, and just kill some time. But if you are actively playing and wanting to grow in the game, then you need a plan for what you are doing. Now, I'm not going to say that you need to whip out the spreadsheets and have so many fancy tools like some of the rest of us did. But you need to decide on what exactly it is that you're doing. You need to have some idea of what it is that you want to do next, what you want to improve, what you want to work on. Once you have those ideas, then you need to decide on what you need to do to get there, who you need to ask questions, or where to get the information that you're looking from, or what channels for you to visit to get that information. And then once you get the information to guide you on your way, then you execute. And you repeat that process over and over again. Going through this process of planning what exactly it is that you want to do will ensure that you are constantly improving various aspects of your gameplay and will make sure that you keep on cruising down the path to your Evony growth. Your plan could be in the form of what buildings you want to do, what generals you want to improve, the kind of troops you want to build, what you want to achieve next in the game in terms of events, in terms of PvP. It could be anything. You just need to make sure that you have a plan and that you're working towards it. Next up, and this is something that I need to speak directly to a certain group of people, and I'm going to tell it to you straight because it is something that you really need to hear. You are having too much unprotected Evony. Yes, that's just the truth. And if the innuendo helps you remember properly, I'm going to say it again. You need to strap up, you need to wrap up, you need to get your raincoat on, you need to use protection. Evony is a war game, and there are quite a few crazies out there. Irrespective of whatever type of environment the server that you have is running, whether that is a bubble or burn, whether that is KE, whether that is a NAP server, not staying protected in Evony is a risk that you are taking. And if anything did happen and someone rolled up and hit you, it won't really do you much good going to world chat and complaining that you got hit and asking for compensation. Even if you did get some form of compensation, in most cases, you are not going to get the full compensation for what you need. And that is going to be resources, effort, and time that you've lost. So you need to make sure that you're protecting yourself at all times. And you also need to make sure that whenever KE or SVS comes around, that you are keeping your bubble game tight and you don't end up turning your castle into a glorified farm. So remember, you need to do your best to keep yourself protected as much as you can. The next thing that might be slowing down your growth is that you have too much idle time. Now, I'm going to be clear. I don't mean that you need to be on the game 24/7, okay? Even I don't do that. But reducing the time that your keep is completely idle is one of the best ways to ensure that you keep on growing. And this could be in the form of you being active and joining rallies, or when you are offline, just making sure that you have marches out gathering or in relics. Even when you're online, you don't necessarily have to be joining rallies the whole time. You could just be there doing some in-city work, okay? Developing your generals, working on gear, working on refinement, doing some other things in the game, like working on your monarch gear, various number of things. The less idle time you have, the faster you're going to end up growing in the game. The next thing we're going to talk about are the unnecessities, in quote. By this, I mean the many unnecessary things that you end up doing. Common examples of this are the build everything mentality. Okay? Once you get to a new keep level, you want to have all your buildings the same level before you move on. The way the game is set up, you have building prerequisites. So you can very easily follow the requisite things that you need to do, and you will be improving and growing steadily as you go along that line. Another common unnecessity that a lot of people do is when they're working on their generals. They put skill books on generals that don't need skill books. They put the wrong skill books on generals, in some cases not knowing what to do. They do specialties on generals that they don't need and won't end up using in the future. Now, to be fair, some of these things, like the build everything mentality, is actually something that you can do, but only if you can afford to do it. Otherwise, the more practical way for you to improve and grow in the game is to focus on doing what is necessary for you first. Moving along, the next thing that could be slowing your growth, and I'm sure a lot of people will be able to relate to this, is that you have too many troops. You are spending too much of your resources on building low-level troops. If you are not one of the bigger players on your server, and you are still in the K20s region, and when it comes to PvP, you can't properly take a defense, you have little business building a ton of low-level troops. All those T8s, T9s that you're building are gonna do very little for you in the future. And they will just end up eating your resources that you would have used for other more important things. And you need to stop building troops right now. Take that energy, take that effort, take those resources, put them into buildings, move yourself along the road to development. Once you get to a certain level where you can start building higher level troops, then you can start cranking out the troops to your heart's content. But for now, slow it down so that your growth doesn't slow down. The next thing that we have, and this is an important one, is that you're having no fun. You've gotten yourself in a situation where you are just not enjoying the game. Like I said before, Evony, amongst other things, is a social game. If you are not enjoying playing the game, you are not enjoying spending time on your server or in your alliance, that is something that is going to slow down your growth in the game, and it's something that you need to do to address it. So what you can do, you need to find stuff in the game that make things interesting for you. You need to plan to take part in events. You need to plan to take part in PvP. If you're having issues in your alliance, possibly look at joining another alliance. Do something that makes the game more enjoyable for you. Even if that is something as trivial as playing puzzles, for example. There are a lot of things that you can do in the game to make things enjoyable for you, and it is important for your growth that you find out things that you enjoy doing in the game. That will make things much more fun for you. You will get better at the game and you will grow in the process. So, if you like the information in this video, be sure to give it a like. If you have thoughts or questions regarding some of the things that we've covered in the video, feel free to drop a comment down below. Thank you, and Aka signing out.